My name is Yunus. My child, my case in family court is related to child support. That's the first thing. I got married in 1978 and got divorced like 1985. Two children were a product of the union, and when we got divorced, a child support order was issued, which I began to pay through a third party. In approximately 1998, my former wife issued some papers requesting child support. Now, from the time of our divorce decree until that particular time, I had worked, then I was out of work, was out of work. But whenever I worked, I made sure that I took care of what I was supposed to give her. And at times, I even took the children with me. For a period of time, after we were divorced, the children actually lived with me for about 3 years, where she had no involvement with the children at all. Now, when she reapproached me, we were on pretty cordial terms up to that point, and she approached me with a proposition. She wanted to get remarried. She wanted us to remarry. And at the time, that particular time in my life, I didn't see that as a possibility. And when I told her that, 2 days later, one of her friends came to my place of employment and served me with papers for child support arrears. Now, when I went to court, there was no concern about what I had done from the beginning, no concern about what I had done in the middle, what I was doing at that particular time. They presented me with a list of arrears from the actual beginning of our divorce decree until that particular time, which was some $29,000. We went to court. The judge asked me what was going on with me, why I wasn't paying. I explained to him that I had paid child support, that I had taken the children for a few years, that I do pick them up. Mind you, at this particular time, both of my children were grown. One was married, lived in another state, and the other one was in college, where I was paying his room and board. He didn't want to live on campus, so I was paying for him to share an apartment with some of his friends in school. In addition to that, he had to have health coverage, so he was on my health plan. And plus, I sent him money, as he called me, said he needed something, boom, boom, boom. But none of that was taken into account the whole time. They presented me with a statement that I owed arrears from the very beginning of the divorce decree, and they did not consider anything that I was saying. I was not given an opportunity to speak with the children and have them present my particular side to let the courts know what I was doing. I was not given an opportunity to collect receipts, money order stubs, or whatever. They just told me that I had to pay these arrears. After about 2 years of paying the arrears through money orders, sending them in, they sending her the money. I had a little money in the bank, and they actually froze my account and sent her the money that I had in the account. So to this day, I don't keep a bank account because I know I can't keep the money. Whatever money's there, they're going to freeze the account and they're going to send her the money. So I don't even keep a bank account because it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay for me to use the banking system because I know that I'll be at a loss every time. So I don't even do that anymore. But, you know, that was my loss. You know, she felt like she had a windfall when she got a big check for a few $1,000s. You know, that's what she told me directly. She thought it was Christmas. But, you know, it wasn't nothing funny about that to me. You know, through all this, I still tried to remain cordial with my former wife. Still tried to remain, keep a relationship going. Even though the children were grown, tried to keep a friendship going. But, you know, I was going through some changes personally. I really didn't feel like what I was going through was just. I didn't think it was fair. And all she was concerned about was getting money. Even though when I was unable to contribute, she was on public assistance. But I couldn't understand why the money was going directly to her. So I've created some problems for myself, I know, by not answering letters, not filing taxes and things like that, because I'm just a little pissed off about the system and how, like I said, my children were grown when this whole thing transpired, and they were kind of like at a loss as to why it went the way that it did. So, you know, they know I did all I can do. Mind you, I have 3 children. I have 2 with my former wife, and then I have another one from another relationship after I got divorced. She's also grown, but her mother never even talked about any court proceedings or child support because of the way I took care of the child, you know. And clearly, you know, I never considered myself a deadbeat dad until I was taken through the family court, and that's how they portrayed me. I always felt that I did what I had to do when I could do. I said there were times where I was not employed, and those particular times I still did what I felt was appropriate in terms of giving time. You know? So, I mean, I just felt like the whole system just didn't want to hear anything I had to say. I mean, the judge kind of like reprimanded me for being absent when I told him that I really wasn't. And I explained to him what I was doing at that particular time, and, you know, that had nothing to do with it. Like I said, my son was in college at the time, and I was taking care of him, doing all that I could do to make sure that his time in college was enjoyable and comfortable for him so that he could do what he had to do. My children are grown. I have a wonderful relationship with my children. I have a wonderful relationship with my grandchildren. And that's how I try to keep it. Right now, I don't have too much relationship with their mother because sometimes I just feel like I've been abused, and it bothers me when I sit down and talk to her. You know? So I just decided not to even engage in conversation. I find out how she's doing through the children. But I maintain a relationship with my children, even though they do not live in New York State. They live in other states. They have careers. They're college educated, and they're doing what they have to do. And we have a wonderful relationship. All I know is that the court system is geared toward helping the mothers, no matter what the fathers present, no matter what the fathers are doing. They kind of like don't even want to hear what we have to say. Everything is just lopsided, and it's an unfair and unjust system. You know? So I don't have too much respect for the court system. Right now, I know that I'm living my life in somewhat of a subculture. You know what I mean? If I work on the books, the first thing they do is take the child support. I have no problem with that. but I can't keep a bank account or anything like that. And I just feel like, you know, a part of my life has just been taken away because I can't do things the way I would really like to. So if I work off the books, I give her what I want. I gave her a proposition to pay her a certain amount of money, lump sum, and then a certain amount as we go along in order to take this case out of the court system. And she just laughed at me and denied that proposition. She said the only way that this will come out of the court is if we got back together. And to this very day, she said that that offer still stands. You know what I mean? She's single right now, and she feels like, you know, I don't understand. She felt like I was that good to reunite with. Why am I such a lowly guy to take the court and to bring all this hardship on? So I guess that's my story. That's my story, and that's pretty much. I repeat, like, family court is set up to assist the mother, no matter what. They don't lend too much credence to what the fathers do. If it's a single father, it seems like more pressure is put on them for every and anything. The court system itself, family court system, my only involvement in the family court system has been this particular case. But I've seen many people be dragged through the court system and have their lives ruined. Yeah, the primary way that I think family courts will work for everybody is for there to be some sort of fairness. Is for them to look at both parties equally and take all the information, all of the relative information, and make a fair and impartial decision. Not to just say that the mother's right because that's the mother, because that's not the case. And that's been borne out time and time again. A lot of fathers become single parents. It's not just the mothers. So I just think it has to be some sort of fairness. And we might have to look at just how the judges are selected. That's another issue as well. You know, not just because he's a crony or they got a little more money to politic and to campaign, but people have to be knowledgeable. And not only knowledgeable, there has to be some sort of humanity, you know, and some concern and empathy for the plight of the father. I mean, everything can't just go for the mother. I don't know what else I can say, but I definitely give you permission to utilize this video and transcript.